こんにちは。にハオ。アンニョンハセヨ. Xin chào. Sawadee ka. Hello to everyone. Thank you for viewing my short video clip about somatic experiencing and grief. I am Teresa Hanaoka, Somatic Experiencing International Faculty. I live in Japan. And I teach SE in Japanese and also in English in some parts in Asia for now. Today I would like to discuss why we need some somatic approach to heal the grief. So I learned literature and also anthropology when I was very young, years ago. And then I worked as a translator for conferences for many years. And I had some physical symptoms, and it was caused by mental stress. And I started getting interested in learning psychology. So later on, once my daughter graduated from college, I finally went back to graduate school once again and got my PhD in health psychology. At the same time, I have become a somatic experiencing trauma healing modality international faculty. I'm also one of the Polyvagal Institute international partners. If you are interested in more of my intro of somatic experiencing, I have done one short video clip upon introduction of SE, so please go to that video for more details about somatic experiencing. So here you go, my family photo. And also I have been teaching in many places. The one in the bottom is in Kumamoto when there was big earthquake. We supported the clinical psychologists there and taught the polyvagal theory in SE there. And also some pictures were taken in Czech, in Prague, where I co-taught SE with my supervisor. I translated many books about the polyvagal theory and somatic experiencing. I translated Peter's Waking the Tiger and Trauma and Memory, and also many books concerning the polyvagal theory. And also, in addition, I have done quite a bit of work on the internal family system, IFS. So this is Waking the Tiger, Peter's first book, and I translated it into Japanese, and the title is Introduction to Somatic Experiencing. So Peter and I work together. I assist him, and in the USA, when Peter had training, I was asked to work as a moderator, so I unpacked Peter's demo. It was a great experience for me. So Peter is the founder of Somatic Experiencing, and Somatic Experiencing is a trauma healing modality, and it's taught in 52 countries as of 2025. It's an organic and naturalistic approach, and it resolves trauma through a body and bodily experiencing. It's a bottom-up approach, and it heals trauma through a lens of somatic, experiencing. And today, briefly, I will discuss how we heal, emotional pain and grief through the lens of somatic experiencing. Actually, loss and grief is both physiological and psychological process. It involves our body. Grief is a very important step to recover from emotional pain. So what is loss? We lose many things as we live. You know, I lost my umbrella in the subway, so that's a loss. And also, we lose something very, very important, such as your loved ones, your pets, or marriage, relationship, job, place to live, parts of your body if you get, injured and dismembered, or your health, or your loved one's health, or opportunity for higher education, promotion, whatever. Or you may have lost chances to have happy childhood if you were in a maltreatment, abusive situation, or war, disasters, or if you grew up in a dangerous area, you may not be able to have a happy childhood, and then that's a loss as well. And loss accompanies various emotions. It comes with emotions and physiological effects as well. You feel sad, frustrated, angry, and you get enraged. You may feel shame, guilt, pain, or you feel stuck in the throat or the chest, stomach, back. You may feel pain in various parts of the body, or you feel foggy in your head or numb in the parts of your body as well. So, when you think about loss and grief, this is not just feelings or emotions, but it comes with your bodily reactions as well. This is a quick, overview of the polyvagal theory. You may have heard about it. Dr. Porges created the polyvagal theory, and he says that we have three autonomic nervous system branches. One is the dorsal vagus, which supports digestion, and in the face of threat of life, it keeps our body into freeze and shutdown. We have sympathetic nervous system, so we can do our work, we can play sports, we have conversation with friends, that keeps us active, and in face of danger, it puts us into fight or flight mode. And then the last one is the ventral vagus system, which is a part of parasympathetic nervous system, and which supports social engagement. So when we feel safe and happy, we, enjoy time together with people and socially engage. So dorsal vagus, freeze, sympathetic nervous system, fight and flight, and ventral vagus system, social engagement. If you want to know more about the polyvagal theory, you might like to visit the Polyvagal Institute website, or Dr. Paul just wrote a book called The Pocket Guide to the Polyvagal Theory. That's a good one to read. For today, I just gave you a very brief overview. So, in loss and grief, people will be in either sympathetic nerve system or dorsal vagus nerve system. So if sympathetic nervous system is dominant, you go fight flight. So you experience anger, rage, revenge, fast heartbeat, short breath, hot flash, dryness in mouth, all kinds of fight and flight response. When you are in sadness and sorrow, you are in a dorsal vagus nerve dominant state. You experience freeze, shutdown, numbness, sorrow, depression, apathy. Your heart rate will be slow, you will have short breath or shallow breath, and you might feel coldness or immobility. So this is both emotion and physical response. When people are in sympathetic nerve system dominant state, they have anxiety, hyperactive, startle, sleep disturbance, unable to relax, hypervigilance, cardiovascular issues, emotional dysregulations. They will experience various things. If they are in a dorsal vagus dominant state, they go depression, apathy, lost motivation, chronic pain, dissociation syndromes, low blood pressure, maldigestion, dizziness, and autonomic nervous system dysregulation. And if you are in grief, many people experience frustration and helplessness. When grief is not cared for, difficult emotions continue and gradually affect the bodily health. So if you take very good care of your grief stage, and then you can come back to happiness once again, and your body will start functioning healthy and well. However, if you disregard the grief, and if grief is not well taken care of, and then actually those difficult emotions will continue and affect the body. You will feel helpless, you lose self-esteem, you feel like loneliness, and you are not apt for social engagement. And those long-term sufferings can cause autonomic nerve system dysregulation. And people will be in a really highly activated stage or shutdown. We call it global high activation. And then they may develop physical symptoms and syndromes such as IBS, or migraine headache, fibromyalgia, autoimmune diseases, etc. So if you disown grief, if you deny grief, people will say, I hate myself. I'm angry at myself. I feel guilty about my existence. I feel that I'm not needed, or I feel I'm unwanted. So disowned grief can develop into bitterness and criticism that can be, put toward other people and also to oneself. And it can be passed down to future generations. So it's not just your own issue, but your descendants will suffer as well. So grief is not just emotions. Grief affects physiology, so we really need to work through the body as well. That's why somatic approach is very important, and also it works. It really helps. So you really need to change the autonomic nervous state. Otherwise, you will feel depressed or angry all the time. So we need to work through the body. So we need to take time and space to grieve, mourn, and even, feel anger. People feel uncomfortable if they feel anger. So they say, okay, I'm okay. I don't feel anything. But then your anger will continue to boil inside of you and fails your health. When anger comes up, we need to complete our incomplete self-protective reaction. That's very important. And I will talk much more in details in the lecture, in the somatic experiencing training. So I welcome you to learn how we complete incomplete self-protective reaction. But, we really need to complete our bodily needs, our bodily impulse. Otherwise, the body will continue to feel frustration and feel defeat. And Peter says that time pills don't work for PTSD. So we will need to have a series of SE sessions. Oftentimes people say time will heal. Well, Peter doesn't think so. We need SE sessions. And survivors tend to become isolated and lonely. And it is difficult to deal in solitude. To connect them to self-help group, etc. should be done. We really need to bring them into social engagement stage to achieve both mental and physical health. So grieving is very important. To mourn the loss of a person is to know how important he or she was, and it is to celebrate his or her wonderfulness or greatness or the value and the love that they brought to you. So people might think that grieving, oh no, I don't want to do it. But not quite. Grief is not just negative things, but it is necessary as human beings. It can be a chance to connect with spirituality. This is not a, easy whoa whoa ghost kind of story. No, 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 no. It's like a deep, felt sense spirituality that we are one and also we are connected to our beings and also even to a higher realm. So I love Rumi's poems. Rumi is an Indian poet, and he says, grief is the oar of the boat when we cross the sea of tears. Rumi also says that tears are prayers when we don't have words, and your prayers reach God. Isn't that beautiful? So we need to have grief in social engagement. Grieving alone and in solitude is dangerous. It may not heal, but people may get re-traumatized. So grieving should take place in social engagement, and social engagement means, we respect each other. Respect is minimum of love, Pia Melody says. So we need to show our respect to the grieving people. If you judge and say, don't cry, stop crying, you need to grow out of it soon, or isn't your recovery slow? So this is not social engagement. It's not helping. It's only a criticism. But once you are in a criticism, you are in fight or flight. So you're not in a ventral vagus dominant social engagement stage. So sometimes it's needed to be silent and stay close to the griever. And also rituals are important. Those are the human wisdom to recover from grief. For example, do you know Neanderthals? People who lived thousands of years ago, they offered flowers at the graves. So they already had their own ritual to grieve and mourn the loss. We have long been empowered by rituals. Rituals are not nonsense, but it is cultural asset which help us to heal. And through the rituals, we clarify the boundary between those who are living and those who are dead, and identify the difference between what can be changed and what cannot be changed. And communities share their grief, and people don't grieve in isolation. We share the pain and the sorrow. We can also say goodbye to, for example, to a part of the body we lose in injury. Anyway, we will all die, you know. Um, I hope everyone has long and happy life, but eventually everyone dies. And I love the saying of an old lady in Japan. She said that I hear the heaven is a nice place because no one comes back. Isn't that funny? Isn't that lovely? So, um, we really need to stay in touch with our innate joy of life. So after grief, we come back in touch with the innate joy of life again. And not through cognition, but through the bodily sensations and by completing our incomplete self-protective reaction and also complete our impulse. So again, I will teach you how you would do it in our somatic experiencing training. And in SC, we can offer sessions to interact with the deceased. It could be just an imagination, but it is so real so that your nerve synapses will be regrouped. So it's a beautiful sessions. I hope I can offer some in your country as well. So we recover from grief, and by recovering, we can create new meanings of life and creating new our own self, which is even stronger. And we move forward into the future, not go back in the past. So Peter talks about the post-traumatic growth and the post-traumatic wisdom, and he likes the concept of kintsugi. Kim means gold, and once your pottery is broken, you use gold to put them together. And it is not trying to create the same thing, but you are creating a new work of art. So once you are traumatized, you're shattered, but you can use gold and recreate new piece of art. And that's where wisdom is born, and we connect again through social engagement. And we reconstruct the meaning of life. So you may be shattered, but now you rise again, say, I can. So this is what Peter says, waking the tiger. Waking your innate joy of life, waking up your personal strength, natural, very healthy power. And we wake our inner tigers through somatic experiencing. So grief is not just the idea or feelings, but it comes through the body. So we work through the body, and I will teach you how you can do it in our somatic experiencing training. So we rise again from cold snow into spring, and our tiger is waiting for our spring, and I am so much looking forward to working with you. Somatic experiencing training is a 3-year program. It's a long thing and it's a commitment. Why do we teach SE for 3 years? Because it takes 3 years to change our own nerve system. And just by transforming ourselves, we can heal others. So I strongly invite you to my training, and I am so much looking forward to seeing you in person. SE works. SE is great. I love SE, and I will see you in the training. Thank you for listening.